Hey Kim, this is another video. This one is to show you how to use the Investopedia stock simulator. This is the one that I used. It started back in 2008 with $100,000 in Monopoly money, basically. And so I'm going to show you how to access it, set up an account, and what it looks like when you get there. So type in Investopedia stock simulator. Okay, and it's right here, Investopedia stock simulator. And when you go into it, well, this is my home. This is my home, but it'll be. Let me walk out of this here. Actually, let me sign out, and I'll sign back in. So this is the this is the page that you will probably see. Free to play. Sign up or log in. You would just sign up here. Type in your username and password or create an account. Click on your create an account. It's not going to ask you for any money. You don't have to put a credit card in. This is a game, so you don't have to do anything more than just sign up for it. I'm going to log in using my name and password, and it will take us back to the page that you saw here before. And what you're looking at here is you're looking at the S&P 500 versus the portfolio that I have. I've had actually a pretty good run of luck the last couple weeks or so. The orange means that I've outperformed the S&P 500 by quite a bit, by 25% to like basically zero, 1 or 2%. So my game is called the Investopedia Competition No End. I started this game with $100,000 back in 2008, so I've been doing this for a while. And right now I'm sitting at $733,000. I'm ranked number 133 out of, I don't know, some number of hundreds of players. So I've had a pretty good run of luck lately. Under the portfolio, these are the stocks that I have. This is a list of stocks that I have currently invested my Monopoly money in. As you can see, I've had some of these these are today's changes in terms of dollar values. INMB or Immune Bio. Today I made $4,000 of Monopoly money. I bought this stock. I bought 5,000 shares of it at $18.33. It's currently sitting at $24.92. If it's green here, that means it's up. The total gain or loss means it's up. Today I had some losses, but by and large, it was a pretty good. It's been a pretty good run so far. My big success was Plug Power. I bought 5,000 shares of that at $31. It's over doubled in price. I don't remember when I bought it, but you can see here I made, just on that one stock, I made $173,000 in Monopoly money. So this kind of works the same way that E-Trade does, but the way that you do this here is over on the side over here it says trade. Excuse me. So you pick a stock symbol that you want to trade. I showed you Apple in the other one. We'll do Apple again here, and you'll see that it pops up and says Apple. And then here it'll give you a look at what Apple's last trade was worth. And here you can buy, sell, you can sell short. This does not have as many selections in it, excuse me, as the E-Trade. This is again a stock simulator. So the idea here is to show you using the simulator, what you can do by buying or selling stock. So you'd buy or sell short, buy to cover. I wouldn't use either of those two. Let's just keep it simple and do a buy or sell. And then you select the number of shares that you want to buy, and then you set it at market limit. You saw market limit in E-Trade. This is only set to do market limit. You can also do a limit, and this is how much is it going to be? What does Apple have to be before you buy it? So that means if it's $128 here, you might say I'm not going to buy it until it hits $130. So you type in $130. So I keep it simple. I use the number of shares here, the market value or the market purchase, which is when it's going to buy it immediately. You preview the order, and this preview will show you how much value these shares of stock have in your portfolio. And once you hit submit the order, no different than E-Trade, it will show you that you've purchased it. It will not purchase immediately like E-Trade does. It will purchase when it's a game. It'll purchase when it finds the time to do it, and that way you have a chance to see, what that stock ends up doing, and you don't spend actually any of your own money. So when you go back to the portfolio here, if I had selected to purchase that, it would show up down here as bought 500 shares of Apple at $128. And at some point, it will show up in here in the top. It won't show in here in the top until that trade was actually made, at least as far as Investopedia is concerned. But this is the game that I play over time. And what this teaches you, the value here is that will show you, you can buy lots of big dollar stocks. You can spend a lot of money, to buy those stocks. And you can see over time what happened to that. When I first started playing this game, I started with 100,000. I think I was down at one point, I was down to like 40, 50,000. So I lost half of the Monopoly money that was listed here. But over time, I started looking into better stocks. I started picking cheaper stocks instead of the expensive ones. I started watching them and letting the market tell me what made the most sense. And as you do this over time, you do become acclimated to what works and what doesn't. You know which stocks work and what doesn't. Like Warren Buffett will go out and he'll do sure bets. He'll do things like General Foods or Coca-Cola or those kinds of Apple Computer, Microsoft. He'll invest in those stocks that have a long-term, I guess, not a high return on investment, fast return on investment. He buys in the long term over time. He puts a lot of money into those long terms. And the reason is because, over time, I would say 7 times out of 10, stocks will make money. And I can show you what that means. Let me show you real quick here a spreadsheet that I've been keeping for some over time. And this is one that I use for stocks, that I use to track stocks. Okay, I created this myself. And this will show you, these are the stocks that I currently have. And then what we have down here, these are the stocks that I had at one time and I sold them for one reason or another. And this is how dumb, I guess, I have been or haven't been. So if it's red in this column, it means that after I sold it, it went up a little bit. Okay, so I sold this stock at $35.95. As of today, it's sitting at $36.58. So this is the amount of money I put in the bank, and this is the amount of money I could have put in the bank if I'd held the stock today. And you can see here's an example of one that I really messed up on. I sold it at $14.44. It's almost doubled in price. So if I'd hung on to it 16 days ago, if I'd hung on to it for 16 more days, instead of putting in the bank $1,660, I would have put in the bank $2,960, almost $3,000. So you can see this is this is real world numbers. This is what I actually would have made if I'd kept my hands off it and let the market do its business. But you can see in almost every single one of these cases, if I'd hung on to it for a little longer, if it's red, I should have hung on to it and made more money. I only had one instance where it was a good idea to sell, and that was this one here, EQOS. I sold it at 1867. The market's sitting right now at $15.60. So I would have lost $3 a share, or I would have lost $156. So the net result is, if I'd hung on to these stocks, this is what I put in the bank. If I'd hung on to all this instead of this, I'd have this. So this is the lesson that I've learned over time. And down here, these are historic purchases I made on Investopedia. And again, you can see all these red numbers means that I should have hung on to it, should have hung on to it, should have hung on to it. So I've had a pretty good run of luck. If I just kept my hands off it and stayed with it, I'd have a lot more money in the bank right now than we do. But I mean, this is the lesson that I've learned over time. So that's how you play Investopedia. If you want, get Sean into this and have them play it, see where they get. I got to $733,000. That's over a number of years. That means I haven't been playing it a lot. I play it from time to time just to see what happens, what would have happened if I'd had the money. So anyway, that's how you play Investopedia. Okay.